Pretty much a reining horse, the biggest quality is the mind. Obviously, you can't see the mind by looking at a horse, but you can totally understand how a horse is by being around him. Hi, I'm Andrea Fappani and this is Big Checks to Cash. He's one of my top studs, and we picked him today just to kind of show you guys what we're looking for in a reining horse. The reining horses are judged on style, and the style today, it's a horse that's a little bit lower headed than usual, meaning that compared to a jumper or a dressage horse, they're still collected, they've got their back out, but they don't elevate themselves in front. Also, because they use their shoulders so much, both in the spins and in the stops and any maneuver in the reining pattern, you want to pay attention to the conformation of a horse, the way his shoulders are put together, meaning that you want a horse that's not too straight as far as an angle on the shoulders, meaning that you don't want a horse that comes down and doesn't have a bigger angle on his shoulders, because a horse that's a little bit straighter is not going to be able to pick his feet up as much and stretch forward quite as much, so he's not going to have as pretty of a stride. He's going to be a little bit choppier and a little bit shorter up front, and it's going to be a horse that during the spins is not going to be able to pick up his feet and cross over. Basically, a rider is required to wear a long sleeve collar shirt, and that is a requirement, a cowboy hat of whichever color you want, and obviously a pair of jeans or any kind of long pants, a pair of boots, and a belt. You don't have to have a belt buckle on, but like I said, some of the stuff it's optional. We try to keep it as traditional as possible as far as the attirement, going back to the cowboy way. We try to clean it up as much as possible. We wear chaps. Chaps are an option. Anybody can wear them, choose to wear them or not wear them. The color is an option. We try to match it up a little bit with either your attire or the horse. Like I said, it's not a requirement, but it's always good. You're judged on style, so the more of a pretty picture you put out. If you notice today, I've got a Palomino horse. We've got a saddle pad that's got a little bit of brown in it. I try to match it up to the shirt. So it's always something that, it's up to the riders and it's up to you, whatever you like as far as style and as far as colors. But it's something that's going to affect your style, so you want to be careful on kind of what you wear. We're going to start with circles because it's the part of the reining pattern that you spend the most time of. You're required to do at least 3 circles on each side, meaning that we're going to do the same maneuvers on the left side that we do on the right side. Also, because if you need no leads on the horses, we're going to do the same amount of circles and the same identical circles on the left lead that we do on the right lead. So what you're asked to is to pick up the lope. And when you pick up the lope on a horse, you don't want the horse trotting, meaning that you don't want any strides at the trot. In a circle, the most important thing is that horse is not guided too much, meaning that my reins are loose, I'm not pulling on the horse's face, and the horse is staying in that circle seemingly by himself. Now I'm giving him cues to stay in that circle, but you won't be able to see him. And that's the whole trick in the reining pattern, to be able to give your cues to the horse without the spectators or the judges seeing it and deducting points from you. So you don't want to be pulling on the horse, and you don't want to have to steer across the neck too much with your hand, meaning that you don't want to guide the horse too much. Right now we're doing a big circle, and I'm going to ask him for speed. Now here we've done 2 or 3 slow big circles in a reining pattern. As you pick up the lope, if you're in a big circle, you're going to be required to add speed. Different patterns have different sequences. You're going to be asked to either change leads in the middle or stop in the middle. But this is what you want. You want a horse that starts in the middle of the arena, picks up the lope, draws 2 fast circles that are exactly same size. And that's the other trick, to make sure that the 2 circles are the same size. If you do a great big circle and then one a little bit smaller, and then change it up to a small circle, you're not going to get points. The 2 big circles needs to be at the same speed, and they need to be at the same size. One of the more eye-appealing maneuvers in the reining pattern is the turnarounds or spins. Now, each horse is required to do 4 spins on each side. So to the right and to the left, like I said before, everything needs to be equal. And in each pattern, you're not going to do less or more than 4 turns on each side. Now you're going to start at a standstill, and you're going to be required to do 4 revolutions on each side. Sometimes you have a connection of 4 revolutions to the right, followed by 4 revolutions to the left. Sometimes you do the circles, the lope to the left, and then you stop in the center, do your turnarounds to the left, and then you lope to the right, and your turnarounds. No matter what, the quality of the maneuver is going to be the same, and I'm going to show you what the judges are looking for in the turnaround. So we're going to start. I'm going to turn to the right. So if you notice, this horse is moving his front end around and he's crossing his front legs. As always, I'm not pulling on him, I'm not giving him too many cues. He needs to do it almost by himself. Now this horse here is turning fairly slow right now. Oh. When you go short, you're going to ask for speed. The more speed, the better it is. Keep in mind that the finesse and the correctness is the most important thing. The speed comes afterwards. So you're always going to get more points if a horse is correct than a horse that's fast and that's not correct. So the horse that's correct and is fast at the same time is going to be the horse that gets the most points. You can get penalties when you stop straight towards the judges, meaning that if you guys were your point of view would be the judge, I need to start facing you and stop facing you. If I stop a little bit over or under from your position, I'm going to get penalty points. You can go from a half a point penalty where I'm at right now. If I had to stop over here, you're going to get a 1 point penalty. If I stop over a quarter of a turn, you're going to get a 0 and no score. What a horse is required to do in a sliding stop is in a straight line gaining speed and go as fast as the horse is comfortable. Obviously, the faster it is, the better it is. But the quality of the stop is what's going to determine the score. Meaning the horse is required to slide with his hind feet and keep his momentum up front with the front end. Just like in the turnaround, the horse always should have 1 foot in the ground. So if you see a horse sliding behind very far but popping out of the ground up front, he's not going to get as many points as a horse that maybe doesn't slide as far, but he almost trots up front to where 1 foot is always in the ground. So the higher his front feet come, and the quicker they move by keeping always 1 foot in the ground, it's going to determine how pretty the stop is.